How'd the scrimmage go today?
Got work to do. Obviously, a lot of new faces. First time in the action. Going against a very, very good and experienced defensive front. With some guys got some opportunities and get the coaches off the field and you go live and did some good things. I thought the procedure was really good. Better than I anticipated. With young quarterbacks, young guys, new center. We didn't have the issues from a procedure standpoint. We did put together some drives, but overall not as consistent as we needed to be.
How do you feel about Tucker and Zarek and some of the other quarterbacks?
I got to look at the film to give them a true evaluation, but so far so good, just in terms of what we've seen without live bullets coming. But obviously, with the live bullets coming, even though they weren't live, they're still being protected. But when everything is coached off the field, everything's moving fast. And the reason why we've been very good over the last couple of years is because we got a very, very good defense. And we got a defensive coordinator that challenges you every single day in practice and does a great job. And so our guys got put in some situations where they got to learn, got to increase their knowledge. But overall, the quarterbacks are competing. But it's going to be good to see the film and make sure that what we saw from the sideline, because it's moving fast, make sure they made the right decisions.
How did the running backs perform? Do you think any one of them might be able to give some consistency in short yardage situations?
We had some opportunities in short yardage, and we did some good things. They all ran hard at times. I'd say today, Fuller and Joyce, probably took a little bit of a step, out ahead. I think Taven, even though he's still making progress, things started moving fast for him today. And you saw a couple of flashes, but still like to see him be more consistent. But a couple of the older guys, they made some big runs and did some good things stepping up in pass protection. And so, it's a long way until we'll figure out who's going to be the guy. But I thought that Fuller had a decent day, and as well as the choice.
How was Falcinelli today, especially with his snaps?
With the snaps were good. Like I said, we didn't have the procedural issues that you anticipate with a new center, young quarterbacks. We were good there. We did have one snap issue, but it was with one of the younger groups. But so far, so good with Falcinelli. His velocity has increased. That was one thing that we said he needed to do was just increase the velocity. But in conversation that I had prior to today, just really, really pleased with his development, his progress, and a lot of it is too. You look at a guy who's playing behind Jay Guillermo, and Jay Guillermo's a solid guy, solidified guy. He's preparing now as if the starter, and you're starting to see it show.
Do you think Cervenka might be able to push in and compete at center?
I would hope so. But the thing with Cervenka is just that, bridging that knowledge curve, getting over the top from a knowledge standpoint. I think everybody watches the ball, they watch the perimeter, but football is won with those five guys up front. And the key is the center and his knowledge and the ability to make adjustments instantly, to anticipate what's getting ready to happen. And you're starting to see him become more comfortable. And I think as he becomes more comfortable and his knowledge gets to where it's the point of where Falcinelli's is, then he'll have a chance.
What are the biggest things you take out of today that you need to work on when the players come back from spring break?
It's just one is leadership. I think we had a lot of leadership, not just great players, but we had a lot of leadership offensively walk out the door. And there were some times in the scrimmage where you wanted some of the guys to be a little bit more vocal, and they competed hard. They gave great effort, but just taking that next step with some of your guys, just encouraging and say, hey, let's go out here and be consistent. And when the energy was back up and the guys were locked in, and we went right down the field. But then there were some times where defense put some pressure on them, and then there was some confusion, and so we weren't communicating the way we did. That's where a leader steps in and says, hey, get on my back and let's go. So I think leadership, and then just the consistency. There were some opportunities to finish some plays where we didn't finish those plays, and then just continuing to develop those quarterbacks, just from their knowledge and the ability to command the offense and control the offense. And that's where Deshaun gave us a comfort level. Last year as he was in complete control of the offense, and they're young quarterbacks, and we have to make sure that we step back and we're not putting too much on their plate too quickly, so that they can develop the adequate base knowledge to be able to get to that point to where they can command the whole system.
How about Kelly, as you look at him now from today, and he got to run the first team? How did he look out there overall?
Overall, I thought it was a positive day for him. There was a couple of plays I know he wants to get back, but like I said, procedurally, he ran the system. Looked like his decisions were pretty good. I won't be able to validate until I watch the film, but from the sideline. But there were a couple of plays, a couple of throws that he probably wants to get back and make a little bit better. But overall, from what I can see and what I saw today, he's making the right decisions. He just has to consistently continue to do that.
Jeff was saying that the situational scrimmage was a little sloppy. Overall, did you think today was cleaner?
I think procedurally, but I think execution. Obviously, when you get out of the way and they have to sustain a drive and you put all the situations on them from first down, second and long, second and short, third down situations, red zone situations, it gets a little bit more challenging. So I think procedurally we're there, but from an execution standpoint, not where we needed to be, or not at least not what we're used to.
Did anybody really catch your eye today?
trying to, I thought Ray made a couple of positive plays. Again, once watching the film, I know some guys will jump out. Just with the running backs, I know that Fuller, consistently caught my attention with stepping up in pass protection, breaking a couple runs.
Coach, when you talked about at the outset, trying to evaluate these quarterbacks and allow them to demonstrate what they can do in the running game, and yet still protect them and risk of injury. How do you manage that, especially in a scrimmage setting?
It's a little bit tough when those guys aren't live, but at the same time too, I mean, you only got so many of those guys, and you want to make sure that you protect them. But as long as they're making the right decisions, obviously the whistle's going to be blown a little bit quick, and some of those gains that were credited for 2 yards are actually going to be 4 or 5 yards, but we blow a quick whistle. So the biggest thing in the run game is just to evaluate, are they making the right decisions on the side plays that we have.
Mylan, is he continuing to step up his game and show that he's ready to take that next step?
I think so, and he's a guy that we got to challenge, as I said before, just from a leadership standpoint. I think that now, he's at a point where he's in a leadership role, whether he likes it or not, and I think his play is elevated for him to have the credibility from a on the field production standpoint. Now the biggest thing is just make that next step and give us that leadership that the guy that was before him, Jordan Leggett, gave us. So I think that overall he's been impressive catching the ball, blocking. Biggest thing is now we just need him to step up and bring that leadership every day.
You've seen a lot of athleticism from Hunter Johnson so far. Give you the confidence that if he were to win the job, that this offensive defense wouldn't change very much.
Oh yeah, he extended several plays out there today. He's been working with we're trying to get him reps with all the teams, and obviously when you're in there with the third unit, you're talking about some potential walk-ons up front, and things might not be blocked as clean. And you saw him escape the pocket, and not just escape the pocket, but extend some plays and convert some third and longs with his legs, similar to what Deshaun did in the first championship game. So definitely believe he has the athleticism. We just got to continue to get him to a point where the game slows down. And I think that's what happened today for a lot of our guys, especially our young guys. They got exposed because we've been in a controlled situation, controlled scrimmage, and controlled practice. And now you get out there and you turn them dogs loose that they got over there on defense. And now the speed of the game really shows up.
What are your thoughts on what you've seen from Hunter as a whole thus far in spring practice?
Definitely from a skill standpoint is every bit as good as advertised. And he has an unbelievable arm, very, very quick release. You can tell that he's got a quarterback mind, quarterback pedigree. Just the biggest thing is being comfortable to command and slowing the game down. And obviously, we require the quarterback to do a lot. Because we're a fast-paced team, he's got to be in complete control. He's got to know basically what the coach knows to be able to get us in good situations. And I think, over time, a little bit more experience, you're definitely going to have a special player there.
That Mitch is kind of a quiet leader on the offensive line. You lost Jay Guillermo. Have you seen anybody emerge as more of a vocal leader in the league?
The vocal guys that I would say would be Taylor Hearn. Taylor Hearn is a vocal guy, and we need him to be. And now, the way he's carrying himself, conducting himself, and his play on the field, he commands that respect. Mitch is attempting to. I don't know if that's just his overall personality type, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he leads every day by the way that he practices. You're starting to see Falcinelli with that added confidence of being the guy and having an opportunity to continue to be the guy. You're starting to see him speak up. Maverick Morris is a guy that's got a lot of experience, and today in the scrimmage, I think he played 4 of the 5 spots up front, just moving guys around, trying to put them in different positions so we can evaluate to see who the best guys are in what position. So you're seeing him emerge. Tyrone is a guy that's probably very similar to Mitch. He's just going to lead with his play, not going to say a whole lot. And Pollard, I think Pollard is a guy that definitely can be a little bit more vocal, and I think it's his personality type, but he's coming off of his freshman year, and so I think we got to push him along and let him know that it doesn't matter if you're a senior, a sophomore, or a freshman. I mean, if you got the right qualities, characteristics, and you're conducting yourself and you're playing at a high level, you can be a leader.
Just so we mention everybody, Zarek, and what did you see from him? Just some quick thoughts.
Zarek, man, he's a cool customer under pressure, and he's got just a demeanor about himself where he doesn't look rattled. Still games moving fast, but you're just starting to see just a calmness in the pocket, a better understanding of where to go with the football. Arm talent, is through the roof. He's got one of the best arm talents that's been around here in a long time. He can make every throw, and he's more athletic than I think a lot of people give him credit for. He's deceptively got good speed. It's not going to look like Kelly. It's not going to look like maybe Deshaun, but he's got an instinct about him. So he's got a lot of natural skills, and we just got to build his knowledge base to where everything slows down so that he can let his talent take over.